Hey there, my name is Alex. I am the Silver Mont, and in this video we're gonna take a look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. By which I mean Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, not Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, that's only mildly confusing. For a quick frame of reference, I've bought 3 Call of Duties. Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 4, and this one, which I suppose is Call of Duty 19? Either way, I've taken fairly large gaps between entries. I'm by no means an expert on Call of Duty, and in particular, well, I suck at it, as the gameplay in this video will demonstrate. Still, in this age of hero shooters and battle royales, I just had the itch for some mindless, pointy and shooty, so I've given this one a shot. First up, the game comes with a number of modes. Campaign for your single player goodness, which took me around 8 hours to complete. There is also a 3-player co-op set of 3 missions, which are encouraged to be replayed. Supposedly there's a 3-player raid thing on the horizon too, no idea how that's going to work. And we got 2 big team battle modes, Invasion and Ground War, one with vehicles and objectives, one that's more like just stab each other. Then finally, the 6v6 modes, which are, well, they're the meat of the game. Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, and so on. New to this one is also a third-person mode, which I've been enjoying a lot. And in the future we'll be getting what I understand is a Battle Royale mode, because everything is Battle Royales, which is included in the game but also a free and separate download in addition. So there's a lot of modes, and there's a lot of ways to customize your experience. You can pick which game modes you want, you can customize aiming, field of view, graphics, there's dozens and dozens of ways to customize your experience to your particular tastes. When it comes to weapons, there's a nice range of them, but for some reason they don't seem to use their real-life names in most cases. Like the, what is it, like an H&K MP5, but in this game it's called like a Lachman sub? I suppose Activision either doesn't want to shell out the money for licensing, or they weren't allowed them? I've no idea, really. Customizing guns, though, is done in a rather interesting way. You have a receiver, or a base model of a gun, which can then be changed. Obviously you can swap out scopes, optics, barrels, stocks, and the like, but you can also effectively change an assault rifle into an SMG, depending on the model. As you level up guns, you will unlock their attachments, which in a lot of cases are universal, so you can put a giant scope from your sniper rifle on an SMG, if you want. Of course, this is a pros and cons situation. The more attachments your gun has, the more unwieldy it becomes, right? It's heavier, it takes longer to aim down sights. Whereas a stripped down, more bare bones gun will be a lot faster to handle, aim down sight speed being a lot snappier. I think it also affects your movement speed, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know if that's just the weapon type or how many attachments are on it as well. Weapon balance seems like it might need a little bit of work. Naturally, I'm not a great player, so what do I know? But it feels like assault rifles sort of dominate at all ranges and render a lot of other guns largely pointless. And I have seen a lot of players all using this one, I don't know if it's like a marksman rifle, it's called like the SPR or something, which I'm assuming some Call of Duty pro YouTuber was like, this gun is the best gun, and then everyone went, yes it is, we're all gonna use it now. In this game that's all about customizing your favorite gun, we're all gonna use the same one. Oh well, that's meta for you either way. And, well, obviously, at extreme distance, snipers are the best. In close quarters, shotguns or stabbing. I'm happy enough with the system, though, as it lets you fine-tune your own loadout. I mean, yeah, or as mentioned earlier, if you're boring, you can just Google what the best gun is and use that. Perks and kill streaks return, surprising nobody. To my amateur eye, they don't seem as ridiculous as some have been in the past, even if kill streaks can really cause snowball effects, obviously. Now, I must admit, it took me probably about 10 hours of playing before I realized you can blow up a lot of kill streaks. Like the counter UAV, you can shoot it down, you can shoot down the helicopters and things. Well, big brain me. General gameplay feels good though. Gunplay is nice, the sound and feel of weapons is top notch with very satisfying kick and great reload animations and all that. The gameplay is fast and fluid, but it can also favour a more measured approach. Things like drop shots don't seem as prevalent as I would have thought. Sliding, diving, sprinting and the like all feel good, but You also are able to play a sort of slower character. You can, aim down sight as you move around corners, or you can jump and backflip around the corner. It's up to you. I've not really experienced any clunkiness in the gameplay. Now, I'm not sure if it's new or not, but the weapon mounting cover system is pretty handy too. It lets you, effectively, you go up to a wall, you press T or whatever on a controller, and you'll like go into cover on the wall and peek around it a little bit. You can use it on like cover too. The game gives you enough tools to deal with different playstyles. Drill grenades and other tacticals for campers, for example. You can use cover for rushers or things like that. It's nice. Lets you tailor the game to your playstyle. As for maps, these don't seem to be as iconic as I would have hoped for, but, well, can we say if things are iconic as soon as they come out? The map full of cars on a highway has a cool intro, but I hate it, and a lot of people seem to hate it. I'm not alone there. It seems like some of the maps are also just carved out from the Battle Royale mode too, but there's a few nice ones. Honestly, there's only two that I actively dislike. The car highway one and the one that's like a dusty little town. I'm not good at remembering names of maps. The third-person mode is really fun, and I think that might be my favourite mode, frankly. Maybe it's coming from my history as a Gears of War fan who put in far too many hours into Gears of War, and I got pretty good at the multiplayer. I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. I've just always preferred third person to first person, I suppose. I suck at all the modes in the game, even like, I mean, it doesn't matter what camera mode I'm in, I suck at all of them. The campaign was okay, but it felt a little, I don't know. The older Call of Duties always seem to do a nice job of making you experience a lot of different viewpoints and perspectives. The military is very varied umbrella. Now keep in mind, I've only played COD 1 for this one. Oh, and one that my girlfriend bought set in like World War II. I forget the name of it. It was the one on PS4 though, because I think there's probably a couple set in World War II. One of the more recent ones set in World War II. You'd play as many different people though, right? Including some who are just frontline troops, who might not even survive. In Modern Warfare 2, the new one, feels like everyone you play as is just a super spec ops mega assassin dude. Which isn't a huge problem, but I like the variety of the others. Yeah, maybe you'd be playing as like some special forces operator guy, but you'd also might be playing as just like a little marine. I say a little marine, yes, a little marine. But yeah, it's not a huge problem, but meh. Actual campaign, it's okay. It wasn't a huge standout to me, but I didn't hate it either. I think I'd speak for a lot of people when I say it's not going to top the original Modern Warfare and its sequel. Behind the scenes, so to speak, I do have some issues with the game's interfacing and menus. In the actual game, it's all fine, but the menu can be somewhat baffling at times, for reasons I can't even explain in a satisfactory manner, especially when dealing with weapons. There's times when I feel like I should be able to do something, game just decides I can't, and I'm not sure if that's a bug, or if I just missed some little bit of info somewhere, you know? Not a game breaker, but I hope they improve it, the clarity, the general layout, just the usability of it. I'm curious to see how the raid feature will work, because I mean, you know me, I love me some co-op, but I'm not a huge fan of Battle Royale, so I don't imagine I'm going to spend much time in that. But in terms of fairly mindless shooters where I can just stick on in the evening and go for a few rounds for, yeah, Modern Warfare 2 is doing that for me. It's hard for me to find a PvP game that just doesn't irk me. Overwatch turned into a complete mess, I've not touched it in years. Titanfall 2 was really fun, but didn't get the support it deserved. Blizzard abandoned Heroes of the Storm, and Battle Royales do nothing for me really, and I suck at 90% of fighting games, so Call of Duty has scratched that PvP itch, you could say. If you're a diehard COD fan, then you're probably not watching this as you're eating COD and chips whilst playing COD. But if you want a casual shooter with a lot of modes, that's easy to get into, with a low barrier of entry, this might be the one for you. Unlike other games with higher barriers of entry, you can pick up COD and you can get some kills right out of the gate without needing to overcome the learning curve or worry about unlocking the best guns. Honestly, the starting gun in this game is really good, which is a smart move, to be honest. The major complaints I've seen coming from others seem to be the skill-based matchmaking, crashes, and the crossplay. Console players think PC players cheat or have way too much of an advantage with mouse and keyboard. PC players think the gamepad is too strong with auto aim assist and all that. Crashes and performance, I can't really speak about as I've not personally had those issues, but I'm sure they exist. Skill-based matchmaking, don't have a huge problem with it, as, I mean, well, for starters, I suck, and I know people think, oh, well, I have to win a match, then I have to lose a match, as the game forces me to be, like, 50-50, but Destiny's PvP was awful prior to them adding in the skill-based matchmaking, and since then, it's still awful, but less frequently am I paired up against Jesus, who just, like, teleports around the map, insta-killing me 2,000 times. People are a bit closer to my level of skill. I don't find it fun to be stomped by God himself. Some will say, well, that's how you improve, but I'm not sure how true that is. Once you reach a certain point, well, you plateau. You're not going to get much better. That's happened to me in Destiny, as I'm like 1,000 hours into that game. I'm not going to get much better. And I'm still pretty bad at the PvP. That's just how I am, I guess. I suck. Still, I can understand both points of the argument. I can understand why these great players just want to, like, go around and headbutt level 1s and stuff. I get it, sure. I don't think the alternative is better, frankly. There aren't many great solutions. It is fair to at least try and have people matching up with people of their own skill level. Yes, I know, it's like, oh, well, when you're in, like, the really high skill levels, then there's not many people to match against, but at that point, that's when you expand it. And there's a reason that heavyweight boxers aren't, you know, going up against, like, featherweights, you know? Overall, it is a fun game from my perspective as a casual player who hasn't really touched the franchise in years. I played a good amount of COD 4 back in the day, but since then, oh man, I mean, I played like one level of one of the games, like the campaign where you're like a robot dude, or a robot dude pulled all your legs and your arms off and you were like, ah, this sucks. And my girlfriend was really into playing the aforementioned World War II on PS4 one. I'd go a few rounds in that with her sometimes, but otherwise, not really been keeping up to date at all. I'd say wait for a sale if this sort of game were to go on sale, but Activision, well, they don't do that. They don't play that game. It's generally a do or don't situation, unfortunately. I'm having fun though, and even with the big price tag, I think I'm going to get my money's worth out of it. Either way, I hope you enjoyed watching me get dunked on by 10-year-olds, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao!